In this video, I'll discuss network bandwidth monitoring. By capturing network traffic over time and analyzing it, we can understand what the normal network data flows are on a specific network. And this can be really useful if you want to set up a baseline of normal activity that might be used for comparison of current activity with things like intrusion detection and prevention systems out on the network. The placement of the tool, whether it be hardware or software, that we're using to monitor the network is always crucial. So, for example, if we want to monitor network utilization on a specific VLAN, then our device, whether it's hardware or software, should be placed on that VLAN. Traffic shaping allows us to determine how the network is utilized to meet our network needs. For example, we might throttle bandwidth so that activity to and from certain servers is preferred, so there's more bandwidth available, in other words, than for other servers that don't have as much network activity. Bandwidth monitoring is also crucial for network capacity planning, where we can determine not only what's currently happening on the network, but any potential future needs for more bandwidth. We can also at the same time prevent unnecessary spending because what we might do is determine that the network is being utilized in such a way that it's not being used efficiently. So instead of spending more for more bandwidth, we might better utilize what we already have. Examples of things that we might learn by monitoring networks include detecting things like denial of service attacks or distributed denial of service attacks, DDoSes. We can also determine if we should be prioritizing traffic using quality of service or QoS. For instance, voice over IP traffic might have a higher priority in being sent over the network because it's time critical versus HTTP or SMTP traffic. Our tool of choice might also easily identify chatty hosts on the network. And this might even lead us to the fact that perhaps we've got an infected host that is sending and transmitting more traffic than is normal on the network. Common network bandwidth monitoring tools include tools such as NetFlow Analyzer, Multi-Router Traffic Grapher, MRTG, and BitMeter OS. Let's take a moment and view what the NetFlow Analyzer looks like. A picture paints 1,000 words, so many of these network monitoring tools will allow us to view things in graph format. For example, here I've got a pie chart that displays the top 10 endpoints. Of course, I can hover over any one of the items within the pie, in other words, the slices of the pie chart, to get details about the host or the ingress or inbound bytes or egress or outbound bytes from that host, as well as the ingress and egress packets, as we can see here. Now, as I scroll down below things like those charts, for example, the top 10 endpoints, I can see the host name. So it's telling me the top 10 endpoints in terms of host names. I can also see over on the right, I've got a pie chart for the top 10 applications. And overwhelmingly, if we scroll down a bit, we can see it's HTTP World Wide Web traffic. That's the big blue part of this pie slice here. Now, that would be much more difficult to determine by using a standard packet capturing tool like Wireshark. So when we have other tools on the network that are designed for that purpose, we can very quickly determine how the network is being used. As we scroll through our interface, we can also see the NetFlow Sources here. So I can see the specific routers and interfaces that are available that we're gathering information from. And as we go down, for instance, if I were to hover over a specific routing device, then I can get information about that by clicking the link, or I can hover over it to get a couple of quick details, like the CPU load on that router, but I can even drill down to the interface on a router. So for example, if I select or simply hover over the link for an interface on a router, I can see some statistical information, including the current traffic, how utilized it is in terms of transmitting and receiving, and so on. I can also scroll down and take a look at the top 5 conversations between hosts on the network. So again, this big blue part of this pie chart lists the 2 host names that are involved in the most utilization on the network. So clearly, using this type of tool really sheds a lot of light on how the network is being used and how we might even better utilize it, or in some cases, we might even determine that there's something suspicious happening on the network. In this video, we took a look at how to monitor network bandwidth.